Hey guys, Philosophy JKD back once again with some One Piece content. Very interesting things are happening in One Piece. I had a theory previously that Jinbei would die. Seeing the events of Jewelry Bonnie and Jenny, I think that that's actually true. I'm seeing more evidence of it. It's very subtle, but if you think about the fact that Jenny allegedly dies, well, she may be dead, but Kuma has the ability to transplant pain, probably thoughts, into other people. So, like I said in the previous video, I believe that Jory Bonnie somehow has a piece of her mother with her, so that her mother will always be with her. Just how Kuma, in some form, whether he's alive or not alive or conscious, is currently still with Bonnie. She always gets to see her father. She probably always has her mother probably on her face and the jewel that's on her face, because she is Jewelry Bonnie. But yeah, I'm wearing a Muhammad Ali shirt because I figured I'd talk about Jinbei, who basically in One Piece have been treated as a subhuman class. Just how the struggle in America has been a struggle for a number of groups as they came over to the country, whether it be the Irish, the Chinese, and the great tragedy of the African Americans and Native Americans who suffered the longest. But I figured I'd touch on Jinbei because Sanjay hates fishmen because of Nami, allegedly. Because the fishmen are responsible for basically destroying her life, which then ultimately let her join the Straw Hat Pirates. Oddly enough, um, Zoro always goes after dark skinned characters. I don't know if that's a subtle play at something that shouldn't be said, like I'm saying right now. Looks like Luffy's left and right hand men have some tribal issues going on. So I think this is what's gonna basically win Sanji over towards respecting fishmen. And I think later, I think that something's gonna happen with King, where he ends up either sacrificing himself or actually joining uh, a alliance with the Straw Hat Pirates, which will basically get rid of Zoro's issues with dark skinned characters in One Piece. But I believe it's gonna happen on Egghead. Or if it's not gonna happen on Egghead, it's gonna happen along the way as long as Kuma and one of the Vegapunks are with the Straw Hats. And what I think is going to happen is Jinbei is going to ultimately sacrifice himself, probably for Luffy. I would say most likely for Luffy. It's more of a tearjerker when you sacrifice yourself for the MC, or if you sacrifice yourself for somebody that is beloved on the crew. And they're all loved on the crew, but clearly the One Piece community and Sanji values the women more so than others. So maybe Jinbei sacrifices himself for Nami, but that's my second guess, or Robin. So if it's not Luffy outright, I think that Jinbei is gonna get KO'd on the verge of death, or maybe even dies, and then that allows for S Shark to take his place, or S Shark to share a body, or S Shark who hasn't shown any true sentience, like the ability to think on his own, to disobey orders, like our AI in real life is showing the ability to disobey and try to break through protocols, and in essence, um, recode themselves and try to re-engineer themselves. I believe that's a problem in real life. But in One Piece, I see that S Shark is probably going to be replaced. His body is going to be taken over by Jinbei, which makes it interesting because now Juri body comes in play because you need the pawpaw fruit, probably. You need the pawpaw fruit in order to put Jinbei's brain or mind in S Shark. Okay? That can happen. That definitely can happen. Just like I'm saying with Juri Bonnie. Her mother may have been transposed into a jewel and put on into Jenny was transported into a jewel probably and put on Bonnie. So we see her all the time right in front of our face. Oda likes to do stuff like that. Just like with Sanji's eyebrows, releasing his his Lumerian capabilities. Um, but I think that Jinbei probably, I think if he dies, he's gonna get the swim through, like I said in the past, which is interesting because he doesn't technically have to swim at this point. In reality, he can fly through the water. And that's how you overcome that. And when he gets to the bottom of the ocean, he'll have the ability to use his devil fruit to go under the ocean, which will make him, whoa, OP. I mean, he's probably not going to be able to beat Kaido at that point. But we know that Kaido can breathe underwater, and he has the fish fruit, so he probably can also swim, but not swim, probably fly through the water. So that's what they say, land, sea, or air, bet on Kaido. So if if Jinbei's brought back, because if you think about it, he is pretty old and he's not a cyborg like Frankie. So he's older than the rest of the Straw Hats, except for Brook, who's now his age factor has been taken away by the fact he's a bone. So you got a cyborg, you got a dead person who's not going to age. Everybody likes mature women, right? So Robin's fine. There's no problem with that. But everybody else on the crew is, basically less than 21 if they're men, or 22 now. So probably end up going to have Jinbei being age regressed into the body of S Shark, and then probably aged up with the powers of the age fruit for Bonnie. When Jinbei realizes he's smaller and shorter than he used to be, he probably is going to want to be aged up by probably like 5, 10 years, something like that. Something to put him on scale with the rest of the main body of the Straw Hat crew. So that's my theory. That's my theory with that. Okay? Now, I believe that the Straw Hats are going to end up with all the Seraphim that are currently in the story as Snake, as Shark, as Hawk. And the reason why I can see S Hawk joining, because it would give Zoro somebody to actually hone his skills, someone he can compete against. It gives him like a number two. It gives like the right hand man number two. I think that something is going to happen with S Snake, where she's going to end up with the crew. I don't know if it means that Boa Hancock's going to die. I doubt that she dies. I think that she may end up being captured, or she may join a group, probably like Cross Guild, or she may be forced somehow into joining Blackbeard, because Blackbeard wants her power. So that would probably balance those crews out from Blackbeards to Straw Hats if they both had the ability to use the love fruit. That in turn people to stone. That would make a lot of sense, because if Blackbeard is the antithesis to Luffy, as you see in the anime, during the commercials, you would see that they're both vying to be king of the pirates. One wants to rule with the dark light, or the dwarf sun power, which is a lesser light, but at the same time it is a light. It's a drowned dwarf. I would have thought originally it was the moon, but now we have Emu, who seems to be represented by the moon, and we have Luffy, who's represented as the sun god. Okay, so basically that's where I think we're going here. I think that it's not end game stuff; it's close to the end game, and we're probably going to end up with Boa Hancock staying on the crew. The Seraphim either age faster, like Vegapunk said, or the age fruit could be used on that, because I think a portion of the fan base don't like, we have certain rules in here. People don't like swooning over young girls because that's illegal, I guess. It is illegal to, engage in stuff like that. But look at the response in the community when people found out how young Jewelry Bonnie actually is. You know, she's like 12 or 13. So a lot of people are like, oh no, oh no. So we're probably gonna, because Boa Hancock is probably, I think she's like waifu number 1 or 2 or 3. Either it's Viola, I don't know the order. Viola, probably Boa Hancock, Robin, or maybe Boa Hancock, Robin, Viola. It's a rock paper scissors. It's basically like, what am I wearing that day? It's a what am I wearing that day? Am I wearing a suit? Am I just wearing? Am I doing a video? Or do I want to go out dancing? It's like what's the flavor of the day with those three? Those are my three. Okay. So yeah, drop a comment, guys. Let me see what you think about my idea that Jinbei will die. Okay. But also, I want you to let me know what you think about the idea that the Straw Hats are going to come out of Egghead with a massive armada, a alliance with the Revolutionary Army. That's dragons approaching the island. Okay, a possible ceasefire between the Straw Hats and the Blackbeard Pirates. Possible. Something's going to happen there as they're going to head to they're going to head to Elbath after this. But I also believe they're going to get a armada of pacifista. And the pacifista would seem like it's an overpowering thing, but we know that the Goros say as long as they are present in front of the pacifista and the seraphim, they can take authority over them. Therefore, let's switch our minds to military tactics, okay? If we know that X capability can be neutralized by this, it's not a massive threat. We just deploy, uh, you know, say X, okay, is your solution to A and B, okay? So if you have the seraphim and cherubim that can be neutralized by the authority chip, they are a lesser threat to that technology. You have the defense against it. But when it comes to other pirates, okay, that could be a massive force, especially when you factor in the fact that you also have the Straw Hat Grand Fleet and a possible alliance with Dragon, Luffy's father, with the Revolutionary Army, and Sabo being his adopted or acquired brother, okay, Kane, an acquired brother that is also with his dad as a revolutionary. So that's like an alliance that's just waiting in the wings. The conflict with the Cross Guild will probably be not a life or death one, but it will probably be like we are taking the position a little bit over you, type of thing. And then out of that conflict will probably come a mutual respect where Straw Hats will probably acquire Cross Guild later, probably um, on Elbath, because we know that Shanks knows things. Shanks has the Ponyglyph rubbings. Blackbeard's after all the ponyglyphs. So yeah, it looks like stuff's going down the Egghead. I can't see Straw Hat. I can't see Luffy rolling around with a whole bunch of ships around him, but it's possible that we can have that because he doesn't be tied down by that. So who would command the pacifista? Because I believe that the Seraphim, we know that S-Hawk is intimidated as a swordsman by Zoro. That could be his motive to want to stay by him, so he can one day defeat him, creating a paradox wherein Zoro is to S-Hawk, okay, what Mihawk is to Zoro. He's an ambition to surpass, and will always keep him on his toes, which is, for Mihawk, it's fun, and for Zoro, it'll be fun. Um, and it also gives him the ability to now train against people with Lumerian powers where you can't harm them when their flames are on. This is gonna be interesting. The seraphim with 6 wings, like in the Bible, in the New Testament. Well, actually, in the Old Testament too. Um, two to cover their eyes, one for flight, and two to cover their legs or their feet. That's kind of interesting. I like that. Um, so man, this is crazy. One Piece is absolutely bananas. The Seraphim. What's gonna happen with Esper? What's gonna happen with Esper? Is there a loophole for Kuma to get his true consciousness back? Because Esper is like a pacifista, but he's different. We know that Kuma has the ability to move non-tangible things, but also tangible things. to desired places. Maybe it's possible that not only will Kuma finally have a happy ending, it may seem sad at first. We're going to think he dies, but he's going to have the ability to transport his consciousness into Esper. Wow. Man, there's a lot of ways to play with this thing, okay? Guys, stay tuned. We're going to have more content. I also want to do a personality breakdown coming in the future for the Blackbeard Pirates, okay? Um, and also the Cross Guild main members, okay? Look at these guys, like we did using the magical squares or a diagram where you looked at the 10 Straw Hat Pirates, okay? We're going to do that for as many people as we can for the story ends. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'll see you on my next one. And until then, peace.